from San Perlita, Texas tonight, as we are set for a matchup between Riviera Coffer and the Lady Seahawks and the Lady Trojans of San Perlita. Both teams have already had the warm-ups. We are just getting set up here. As Rudy Zamaripa at the camera, I'm Joe Bowling, back at the helm after better than a week off, nursing a pretty hefty virus that got my vocal cords, of all things, and my voice. So we'll hope it hangs in there. I feel I'm about 65% tonight for this broadcast, and we are excited to bring you this coverage here of tonight's game. The Lady Trojans on their home court as they start the second round of district play are alone atop the district standings. Riviera Coffer earlier in this season knocked off San Ysidro, and the last time we saw this team, they beat San Ysidro on the road. They've since lost a couple of games and are trying to claw their way back towards the top of this district in a tough matchup here tonight on the road at San Perlita. Just underway for the first point of the game, and there it is, scored. And the Lady Trojans go up 1-0 to start it off. Trojans in the red uniforms with the white trim, a line drive serve over, back across the net, spiked down, played by Riviera Coffer. Lady Seahawks keep that ball alive. Back on the San Perlita side, they'll set it up off the back row. That's an attack by Aaliyah Garcia. That's nothing doing, and a point scored for Riviera. Ties the game at 1 apiece. Riviera Coffer, again, this team, we saw them at a highly competitive level. Coach said, I hope that team shows up tonight. Allison Alegria back at the service line. Puts that across. Lady Trojans will play it. And the free ball over on the Seahawks side from the back row. Brianna Ramirez is the libero back there. Played by the Lady Trojans, and a lift is going to be called. Rivera takes the lead at 2-1 here early in game one. Tonight's broadcast coming your way here. And a serve across by San Perlita. Tipped across, nice play that time by Megan Kinney. Score the point, tie the game at 2 apiece. In the game we broadcast from San Perlita's side, we saw this team slow starting, but once they got rolling, they really got after it. Point scored there on an ace, makes it a 3-2 game. And a quick timeout call by the Lady Seahawks. Lady Trojans up 3-2 at home. Their JV rolled the table with ease. Varsity on the court returns after this.
We'll get you taken care of fast and easy. Now you can get back to your day with a healthy smile.
Back here after the timeout, and the San Perlita Lady Trojans with a 3-2 lead. They'll serve it up. A deep serve in the back row, played by Ramirez with a pass. High set in the middle, big spike across, down in the corner and in. Ties the game at 3 apiece. We saw in the game against San Ysidro, this Riviera Coffer team has some legitimate hitters up front. Mary Godfrey right now on the front row. Joining her is Madison Alegria. Back at the service line, Emily Bunger puts it across. Played by the Lady Trojans. Free ball coming up for the Lady Seahawks. On the pass, though, it goes awry, and a point scored for San Perlita. Lady Trojans back on top at 4-3. Back here, our appreciation again to the school districts for allowing us to broadcast the game. San Perlita will serve it up. A deep serve played by Rivera. Center set off the block. Punch back over on the Rivera side. They'll regroup. Set it up again. Middle, in the net it goes. Point scored, Lady Trojans. San Perlita up by a couple at 5-3. Back to serve is Modesta Garcia. Garcia, right-handed server. With the quick approach, line drives it over, played by the Lady Seahawks. Set up in the middle, big hit. And a kill for Riviera. Alegria, another thunderous kill. 5-4 ball game. Substitution in the game for the Lady Trojans. Perla Moreno into the game. She'll take a spot on the back row for the Lady Trojans. Meanwhile, rotating off the net, Madison Alegria. She'll be back at the service line for the Lady Seahawks of Riviera Coffer. Moisture on the volleyball, so they'll attend to that. And a service opportunity for Madison Alegria. Alegria is ready. Serves it across. In the net it goes. Point scored, San Perlita. Lady Trojans back up by a couple. San Perlita has a big date on Friday on the road at San Isidro. Lady Tigers avenged their loss earlier in the season to the Seahawks of Riviera Coffer. They'll still need a little help, even if they can knock off San Perlita. The Lady Trojans have run the table thus far. Miscommunication on the back row that time leads to a point. Riviera Coffer back to within one at 6-5. Back to serve is Brianna Lerma. Lerma, a right-handed server. If they can get through this back rotation and get Alegria back at the front row, advantage swings to the Seahawks side. Good pass this time, set it up, punched across, played by Kinney for San Perlita. Set it up on the outside left, Karime Rojas with a big kill. That's off the Raptors, played back over on the Trojan side. Set it up again on a back row this time. Kinney two-hands it over, that's going to be called a lift. And a tie game at 6 apiece. 6-6 your score. Lerma to serve again for Riviera Coffer. Line drive across, picked up there by Rodriguez. Jasmine Rodriguez with a pass. Rojas puts it over. Lady Seahawks on the attack with a back set left side. A hit across, left-handed finish for Lauren Tabor. Riviera back on top at 7-6. Tabor on that kill. Back to serve, Brianna Lerma. Gets it across, played by the Lady Trojans. One hit, back on the Riviera side. Seahawks set it on a back set. They'll look back with Tabor. Puts it down, got another point. 8-6, 2-point lead for Riviera Coffer. Lady Seahawks in the green uniforms with a white trim. Lerma to serve again. Deeper serve this time. Kinney with a pass. Setting it up is Garcia. Two-handed over by Rodriguez. Here comes Riviera Coffer. Set it up again, looking for the finish. That's off a block, though. A Trojans score the point. Cut it to 8-7 game. Lady Trojans, we saw their front row can be extremely active. Deep serve this time. Nice pick this time by the Lady Seahawks. Punched over. Trojans on the attack, set up Kinney. Two hands it over. Quick set on the back set, tipped over. Point scored to Tabor again. Lauren Tabor with another kill. Back to serve is Brianna Ramirez. Ramirez, left-handed serve just across the net, punched over. Ball on the Riviera side, set it up this time, going right back for Tabor. Puts that one down. 10-7 game as Tabor is having a nice run through the front row on her first rotation through. Brianna Ramirez back to serve again. Gets it across with some pace, played by the Lady Trojans. They'll manage to get it over. Riviera goes right on the attack. Center set this time, looking for Alegria. That's Allison Alegria wearing the number 10. Challenge at the net. That's going to be in the net on Riviera Coffer. Point San Perlita makes it a 10-8 game. Lady Trojans back to serve as Aaliyah Garcia back to the service line. Meanwhile, a substitution in the game as Modesta Garcia returns for San Perlita. Takes a spot on the front row. Serve over for the Lady Trojans, played by the Lady Seahawks. Set it up for Emily Bunger, puts it in the net. Points scored San Perlita. Makes it a 10-8 game. Check it 10-9, 1-point game. Next serve across, line drive over Free ball coming up for the Lady Trojans of San Perlita. The pass on the money, the high set. Garcia tips it off the block, and a point scored, ties it up at 10 apiece. Modesta Garcia on the finish. Lady Trojans, Aaliyah Garcia back to serve. Her one-handed serve to the back row. Good pass by Alegria. Ball back over, now on the Trojan side. Set it up, Nieto the setter this time, got called for a lift. Point scored, Riviera Coffer back on top at 11-10. Appreciate you fans tuning in wherever you may be watching the game from. Ball over on the Riviera Coffer side. High set and nothing doing. Point scored, San Perlita ties at 11 apiece. Like I said, starting tonight, my voice, I'll promise you, it's no more than 60%. I was going to get a water before we started. I'm going to have to make a beeline over to the concession area and get something in between games at the least. Punch at the net. Challenge there, won by San Perlita. Lady Trojans go back on top at 12-11. We've got an additional broadcast coming tonight. Help set up the system down there for the boys at Los Fresnos as the Brownsville Riviera Lady Raiders are in town to take on the Lady Falcons of Los Fresnos. That'll be a good matchup there at the District 32 6A level. Meanwhile, in a battle of Sherryland, we'll have that broadcast as Sherryland travels to Pioneer. Long rally here. The Trojans keep the ball alive, two-handed over. Seahawks looking for the set. Middle set. Alegria back on the front row. Nice dig that time by the Lady Trojans. Rally continues. Tipped across by Alegria. This time they'll set it up for Kenny. One hands it over. Back row there to play it by Ramirez. The rally continues. Seahawks back on the San Perlita side. Trojans set it up. Two-hand looking back corner, just out of bounds. Tie game at 12 apiece. Riviera Coffer able to withstand a long rally, score the point. Now they'll serve as Allison Alegria rotates back to the service line. Left-handed serve, back row plays that, ball challenge at the net. Ball back over on the Riviera Coffer side, set it up on a middle set for Alegria, but a lift called. And a point to San Perlita. They go back up by one at 13-12. Rudy Zamaripa Jr. on the camera today. My wife Dahlia is at a function for our store in San Perlita. Ace served up for San Perlita. They go up 14-12. Reminding you, we have additional broadcasts of volleyball tonight. We've got football on Thursday, Friday, and then on Saturday we've got volleyball and football. And then Sunday, the RGV Coaches Basketball Coaches Association preseason basketball tournament coming to you from San Benito. And I'll be back in the mix with that. Then we'll follow it up on Monday with McAllen 8-on-8 football. And then a week from tonight, more volleyball action. Welcome back, Joe. Hope your voice is feeling great. Spike across by Alegria is a good one, and a point for the Seahawks. Cuts it back to a two-point game. Back to serve is Emily Bunger. Bunger, a right-handed server for the Lady Seahawks. Kinney there on the return of serve for the Lady Trojans. Two-handed over by Rodriguez, and the net it goes, though. Point scored Rivera. And the Lady Seahawks sticking around in game one here. Trailing one at 15-14 and serving. Bunger puts it into play again. Kinney on the pass. The set this time by Araceli Nieto. Ball one-handed over on the Seahawks side. They'll set up Alegria, swings away, and a point scored. Aaliyah Garcia tried for the dig. Point scored, tie game at 15 apiece. Bunger back to serve again. Emily Bunger puts it just across. Kinney there to play that. Ball challenge at the net. Ball on the San Perlita side, back on the Rivera side. Seahawks with a free ball over. Trojans trying to set it up. Kinney from the back row. Two hands it over, right there to dig that. And a diving play keeps that ball alive. Back across on the Riviera side. Ball at the net, tipped over. Point scored Riviera. 16-15 game. Bunger to serve again. Right-handed serve across. Kenny on the pass. Helping her out there is Rojas. Ball back on the Seahawks side. They'll set up for the hit by Alegria. Block back at you. But a lift called on San Perlita and a point to Riviera. They were back up 2. Bunger to serve again, up 17-15 on the road here at San Perlita. Short serve this time on the pass by Rodriguez. They'll set it right back up. Rodriguez one-hands it over. Riviera Coffer sets it up off the net. Two-handed over by Mary Godfrey. Ball back on the San Perlita side. Here's Kenny on a back row approach. Dug that time by the Riviera Coffer Lady Seahawks. Ball up in the net. Nice defensive play. Seahawks attack again. Alegria at the net. Past the block. Kills it down for the point. 18-15 to lead. Timeout call by San Perlita. Visitors of Riviera Coffer on top in game 1. Game 2 continues after this.
Real Sports 5, number 1.
Back here at San Perlita on a Tuesday. Up 18-15, the Riviera Coffer Seahawks will be serving it up. Bunger's been at the service line for a while. Nice rotation through. Trojans down by 3, had to call that timeout. Ball up at the net this time. Tipped over by Garcia. Right back on the San Perlita side. They'll set up Garcia. Nothing doing. Miscommunication. Garcia was watching for Kinney, thinking Megan Kinney was going to come off that back row. Nothing doing. Emily Bunger to serve it up again. Gets it across. Played by Kinney. That's going to be a lift. And Riviera Coffer goes up by 5 here in game 1. Emily Bunger to serve it up. Bunger with a line drive serve. Kinney there with a pass. A high set. Tipped over. Ball played by the Seahawks. A high center set for Alegria. Nice dig that time on the back row by Aaliyah Garcia. But a point scored nonetheless, and Riviera Coffer now up 6, biggest lead of the game. Next serve by Bunger. Two-handed right towards the net, nothing doing. That's an ace. And the Lady Seahawks up by 7, Bunger to serve again. Gets it across, played by the Lady Trojans, good pass. High set for Kenny on the back row approach. That's too strong, out of bounds. Riviera Coffer up now by 8 at 23-15. Next serve by Bunger, short serve. Modesta Garcia on the pass. They'll set her right back up. Punches it over, back row, that's out of bounds. And Riviera Coffer now 1 away from capturing game 1 here in this best of 5. Serve is across, and an ace served up. Riviera Coffer wins game 1 going away. 25-15, game 2 coming up. Our thanks to the basketball players who ran and got me a water. I'll down this one and look for a second. Game 2 coming up.
Thank you for watching Real Sports Live.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for the prices? It's a hacienda party
It's the Hacienda Ford football sale. Right now, get 0% interest for 60 months on 2019 Ford Rangers, plus $2,500 in bonus cash.
We got the tailgates down and we're feeling all right. My Hacienda friends are saving money tonight.
Hacienda has it.
Hi, we're Robert Bellows, Favorite Cats, and thank you for watching Real Sports Live.
TVNS specializes in provider services, respite care, and emergency response services. TVNS are pioneers in the home care industry, in service for over 37 years. 11 locations from Brownsville to Corpus Christi, from Harlingen to Laredo.
Today's game is sponsored by TVNS, the pioneers in serving our community with the highest quality in provider services.
Back here in San Perlita, Texas on a Tuesday night, high school volleyball as we head for game 2 of this best of 5 series. And the Lady Seahawks under the direction of head coach Kathy Borden. Talking with her before the game, getting this roster, she was telling me, I hope that same team you saw against San Isidro is here tonight. Taking on this San Perlita team, and thus far, they have shown up. Taking game 1 handily 25-15, Lady Trojans will now have to play on the come from behind trail as we start off game 2. Riviera Copper will serve to start it off. Lauren Tabor back at the service line. Puts it into play. Kinney on the return of serve for the Trojans. Ball back over on the Copper side. Riviera Copper with a high set. Second hit over on the Trojan side. Garcia tips it over. Nice dig that time by Brianna Lerma to keep that ball alive. Free ball coming up for the Trojans. Tipped over. They'll play it. Try to set it up. Second hit over, though, on the Riviera Copper side. Off the net, Alegria. That's a kick save. Nice play by Riviera Copper to keep that ball alive. Two-handed over. Kinney there. Set it up just over the blocker. Nice coverage again by Lerma. She's real active on this front row. Here's Alegria. Off the back row. Nice dig that time by Aaliyah Garcia. Ball back over on the Seahawks side. First point of game 2. Alegria again reaches back, sends it out of bounds. Point scored, Lady Trojans. San Perlita on top to start it off. Maya Duarte back at the service line. Duarte to serve it up. Line drive over. Good play that time on just picking up that serve. Ball back over, then a whistle and 2 hits called on Riviera. And a point to the Lady Trojans. They go up 2-0. 2-0 game as Duarte is ready to serve again. In the net it goes. Service error. Tallies the first point for Riviera Copper in game 2. Mary Godfrey checks in the game. She'll take a spot on the front row for the Lady Seahawks. Meanwhile, back to service, Allison Alegria. In the net that goes. Service error right back at you. San Perlita back up a couple. They had an early lead in game 1, they being San Perlita. A Riviera Copper timeout was able to stabilize things. And then they went on the attack. Here's a big kill, and that's down for a point. Another kill for Madison Alegria. Alegria cuts it to a 1-point game. Stays on the front row as Bunger's back to serve. This produced a lot of points right here in game 1 with Bunger at the service line. This time, just off the net, played by the Trojans. Ball still alive. Kinney two-hands it over. Alegria with a pass. High set right back at her in the middle. Off the block, point scored, tie game. Madison to Allison, back to Madison. Off the block of Garcia. And a point scored. Bunger to serve again. Now looking for the lead for the Lady Trojans. It passed this time right on the money. Lady Trojans, second hit over. Coverage there by Tabor. One-handed over on the right side. Kinney there to dig that for the Lady Trojans. This time they'll set up Rodriguez. And just off the back row on a kill attempt, Jasmine Rodriguez just misses the mark. Bunger to serve again. Short serve, this time played by the Lady Trojans. Free ball, here we go again, setting up Alegria in the middle. One hand, right hand this time. Connects, scores a point. 2-point lead for Riviera Coffer. Five-3 game. Emily Bunger to serve again. Gets it over, played by Kinney. Garcia two hands it over. Lady Seahawks set up Alegria, punches it off, back row, that is out of bounds. Point scored to the Lady Trojans, makes it a 5-4 game. 5-4 score, Modesta Garcia back to serve. Good return of serve by the Lady Seahawks, sets up this Alegria hit, off the net, scored the point. Good pass, and then Madison Alegria able to put it away. Now Alegria rotates back row. And here again is where the Lady Trojans will need to take advantage of the biggest hitter on this team. Off that front row, service there, tallies a point for San Perlita. Karime Rojas checks back in the game for the Lady Trojans. Meanwhile, Megan Kinney back to serve. Kinney, a right-handed server. Good return, that time by Madison Alegria on the dig. Ball back over on the Trojan side. A high set this time. The approach, Rodriguez. Punch back up in the air, ball on the Trojan side again. Second hit over. Nice coverage that time by the Seahawks. Two-handed back on the Trojan side. This time they'll set it up for Rojas. Cross and angles it in, ties the game. Karime Rojas ties us up at 6 apiece here in game 2. Lady Trojans to serve it up. Like I was saying, the first time around we saw San Perlita, it seemed to take them a little while to get going. Once they did, they steamrolled to the victory over San Isidro that night. Punch over on the Trojan side. Rojas tips this one over and scores the point. Lady Trojans up 1 at 7-6. Nice change of pace that time by Karime Rojas. Kinney to serve again. Just across the net, diving play, keeps it in play, but out of bounds. Point for the Lady Trojans on an ace by Megan Kinney. Now in game 1, once the Lady Trojans jumped out to a 2-point lead, that was when the timeout was called. This time, Lady Seahawks select not to call the timeout. Kinney serves it over. Ball over by Lauren Tabor. Back on the Trojan side. Back set this time for Kinney. Tips it over. Good play that time again by Ramirez the libero. Sets it up on the left wing. That's called by Tabor. Ball back over on the Trojan side. Second hit over. Keeping that alive is Allison Alegria. Here's Tabor again. Over the blockers. Played by the Trojans. Ball back on the Seahawks side. The setter is Allison Alegria. Got called for a lift and a point scored. San Perlita now up 3. Biggest lead of game 2 for the Lady Trojans at 3 points. Megan Kinney to serve again. Right-handed server. Just gets it over. That's an ace. Ace served up by Megan Kinney. Timeout called by the Seahawks. San Perlita up by 4. Game 2 continues.
Thanks for watching Real Sports Live.
Sherryland ISD, a nationally recognized district focusing on quality and rigorous instruction where every child is immersed in a culture of academic success. A district dedicated to preparing our youth for the future. Our mission is to inspire, educate, and empower all students to reach their full potential and become leaders of the highest moral character. Sherryland ISD, excellence is our tradition.
Back here as we get set to resume play. Megan Kinney continues to serve for San Perlita. After a timeout and serves up another point for the Lady Trojans. They're now up 5. After dropping the first one by 10, Lady Trojans now up here And Kinney serves again in game number 2. In the net, service error. Second service error of the ball game for the Lady Trojans. It allows Brianna Lerma back to serve for the Lady Seahawks of Riviera Coffer. That's in the net, right back at you, point scored, San Perlita. Same scenario as the earlier service error, and then it was answered by a rotation right back to San Perlita. Julissa De Luna serves it up. Seahawks get it over on the Trojan side. Kinney with the pass. They'll set up Rojas. Karime Rojas just out of bounds. Looking for the angle on that back left side defensively against the Riviera Copper Seahawks. And a 4-point game. Back to serve is Brianna Ramirez. Just across, ball back across the net, punched over and kept alive. 4 hits though, points scored San Perlita. Good recognition by Karime Rojas. As that ball came across the net in the blink of an eye. Back to serve is Aaliyah Garcia. Seahawks on the set this time. Tipped over, that's Allison Alegria, point scored. Allison Alegria scores the point, and now the rotation brings Madison Alegria back to the front row for the Lady Seahawks. Jump serve this time by Tabor, played by the Trojans. Modesta Garcia two-hands it over. Here comes a set by Lerma, center set. Alegria looking for the back corner, out of bounds. Madison Alegria had a good look that time, just carried it out of bounds off the back corner. Karime Rojas to serve again for the Lady Trojans. High set across, ball back over on the Trojan side. Diving play by Rojas will keep that a play. Kinney gets it over. Ball back on the Seahawks side, set it up Alegria, swings away, got the point. Another kill for Alegria. 4-point game. San Perlita on top here in game 2. Trying to even this series up at 1 apiece. Allison Alegria now back to serve. Her serve across played by the Trojans. Two-handed over. Right there is Ramirez to keep that ball alive and score the point. Heads up play, Brianna Ramirez getting in position to make that play for Riviera Coffer. Allison Alegria serves again. Lady Trojans up by 3. Lady Seahawks trying to come back here in game 2. Modesta Garcia two-hands it over. Alegria with the pass. Second hit over, punched up in the air, and a point scored for Rivera. Caught him off guard that time, did Allison Alegria with that second hit over. Alegria to serve it up. Trojans on the pass, second hit over. Covered this time by Alegria. This time Madison, two hands to the back row, that's out of bounds. Point scored, Lady Trojans. They're back up 3. Back to serve is Alyssa Nieto. Nieto, right-handed server for the Lady Trojans. Arcs it over, pass by Tabor. Set, this time they'll set up Mary Godfrey. Ball back over on the Trojan side. This is Megan Kinney off the block. Godfrey there, Alegria reaches back corner, got the point. Good recognition that time, as Alegria adjusted in the air. Found that back corner. 2-point game. Served by Emily Bunger across. Played by the Lady Trojans. Megan Kinney two-hands it over. Bunger there with a pass. Set up Alegria. And got the point. Madison Alegria taking charge again at the net this rotation through. Emily Bunger now serving to tie this game up. After San Perlita led by as many as 6. Service error. Another point for San Perlita off the serve. maintain the lead. It's up to 2, and Modesta Garcia rotates back to serve. Garcia puts this one into play for the Lady Trojans. Good pass right on the money this time, leads to this set, and a right-handed kill this time, down for the point. And yet another kill for Madison Alegria. Alegria rotates off the front row. She'll now serve. For the Lady Seahawks of Riviera Coffer. Good pass this time by the Lady Trojans. Set up Aaliyah Garcia. Over and point scored. Aaliyah Garcia on the finish. 2-point lead for San Perlita. Checking out of the game is Maya Duarte. Checking back in is Karime Rojas. Meanwhile, Megan Kinney back to serve. With some pace this time. Returned by Alegria. This time they'll set up Lauren Tabor. Ball back over on the Seahawks side. Two hits called, points scored. San Perlita now up 3. Megan Kinney back at the service line. Just gets it across. What a play by Alegria just to keep it alive, but nothing doing, and that's an ace. 19-15 on an ace served up by Megan Kinney. Trojans back up by 4. Kinney to serve again. In the net, a service there. Point to Riviera Coffer. Lady Trojans watch as Brianna Lerma checks in the game to serve. Meanwhile, the rotation keeps Madison Alegria on the back row for the time being. Deep serve played by Kinney. Coming over to help out is Perla Moreno. Ball back on the Seahawks side, a high set middle. Trojans there to cover that. Two-handed over back on the Riviera Coffer side. That's a lift call, a point to the visitors. And the Seahawks back to within 2. 19-17 as Brianna Lerma serves again. Trojans there to play that. Free ball coming up for Riviera Coffer. Pass, the set by Lerma. Two-handed over back on the Trojan side of San Perlita. Kinney two-hands it over. Lerma with a pass. Set it up middle. Spiked across. Down for the point. Jocelyn Lerma. 19-18. Lerma serves a deep serve. Pass by the Lady Trojans. Two-handed over. Looking for the tie now. Challenge at the net. That's going to be in the net. Riviera Coffer. Point scored San Perlita. Lady Trojans get to 21st here in game number 2. Jalissa De Luna checks in to serve. De Luna with a right-handed serve. Pass by the Lady Seahawks. Punched over by Allison Alegria. Trojans with a second hit over. Punch back right back on their side. Trojans set it up right side. That's in the net. Aaliyah Garcia couldn't get it across. Riviera Coffer back to within 1. Ball at the net, Alegria with a punch across. Tie game as they'll call in the net, San Perlita. Tied at 20. Brianna Ramirez back to serve. Just gets it over. Ball back across and one-handed right back at you. Trojans on the attack. Seahawks there to cover that. Hit across, down by Lauren Tabor. Seahawks go up by 1 at 21-20. Brianna Ramirez to serve again. Kinney on the pass. A high set off the right side. Spiked across. Nice dig that time by Alegria, who's still on the back row. Second hit over. Trojans there to cover that as well. Back on the Seahawks side. The set by Lerma on a back set middle. Alegria punches it over. That's Allison Alegria, scores the point. Riviera Coffer up 2 at 22-20. Here in game number 2, timeout send Perlita. Their 6-point lead is gone. Now we're late stages of game 2, trying to prevent the visitors from going up 2-0 in a best of 5. Back after this.
Lady Tigers, and thank you for watching Real Sports Live.
The kids are headed back to school. It's time to get internet from VTX1. VTX1 Companies offers fast and reliable internet throughout the Rio Grande Valley, even to some of the most remote areas. For a limited time only, get your standard installation at no cost to you. Start the school year off with a service provider you can trust by calling 1-800-446-2031. VTX1 Companies, connecting you since '52.
Hola, les habla su amigo Benjamín Gómez, el alcalde de San Benito, invitando a toda la gente que venga a visitarnos aquí a San Benito. Crucen por el puente Los Indios, más bien conocido como el puente de Lucio Blanco. Visítenos a las atracciones que tenemos aquí en San Benito. Aquí los esperamos. Muchas gracias. Su amigo Benjamín Gómez.
Back here after the timeout, and Riviera Coffer with a 2-point lead. San Perlita Lady Trojans called the timeout to talk it over. And a lift is called, another point for the Lady Seahawks. Seahawks now up. Check that, point scored San Perlita. 22-21. Lady Trojans a serve. Aaliyah Garcia puts it over. Ball back over on the Trojan side. Garcia hands it over. Spiked across. Nice play by the Trojans to keep that one alive. Another hit by Tabor. Played by Kinney. Garcia helps out. Ball back on the Seahawks side. A high set. Right back to Tabor. Puts this one away. And that does a lot of damage as it not only scores a point for Riviera Coffer, but it brings back to the front row Madison Alegria. 2 points away from putting this away, the Lady Seahawks. Back to serve as Lauren Tabor. Tabor gets it over. And a spike across, another point scored. That one's in the net. Point scored San Perlita. 2-point game. Lady Trojans have to be letter perfect here for the next couple of points just to extend game 2. Starts with a serve by Rojas. Good pass this time. Ball over. Back on the Trojan side. Chance to score. High set. This time they're looking for Garcia to put it away, and she does. 24-23. Trojans now within 1. This is the critical point that kind of steadies the ship just a bit, because you're still playing with the, you have to score this point if you're San Perlita, otherwise game over. Riviera Coffer. On the return, that's an ace, we're tied, 24 apiece. Karime Rojas. Now serving the Lady Trojans, trying to take the lead. Right-handed server across. Tabor with a pass. They'll set up Alegria. Spikes it down. Point scored Riviera. Lady Seahawks back up by 1 at 25-24. Serve across by Alegria. Deep serve. Carries out of bounds. Tie game at 25 apiece. Lady Trojans here in game 2. Araceli Nieto back to serve. Nieto serves it up. High arcing serve. They'll set up Alegria at the net. Off the block. Rojas there to keep it alive. Kinney punches it over. They'll set it up again. Alegria reaches back, puts that one down. Alegria feeling it, got that kill. 26-25. Riviera Coffer to serve it up. Short serve this time. Kinney on the pass. High set right back to Megan Kinney. Two-handed over. Back corner there to play. That's Bunger. Set up Alegria trying to put it away with the right hand. Played over by the Trojans. Kept alive back on the Seahawks side. Set it up again, Alegria. This time from the middle. Points scored. Riviera Coffer wins game 2, 27-25. Come from behind fashion. They take game 2. Game 3 coming up.
Hi, we're the Road 9 City Rattlers. Thank you for watching Real Sports Live.
Men, start the new year off right. Alpha Men's Primary Care wants to remind all men it's time for your annual physical. Call to schedule an appointment. It's about the body, mind, and emotion. Stop feeling sluggish, having no energy, or being stressed. Alpha Men's Healthcare believes in a holistic approach to your overall health. Even if you have low testosterone, diabetes, high blood pressure, or gained weight, let Alpha Men's Primary Care help you increase your energy, stamina, endurance, and quality of life. Start feeling young again. Alpha Men's Primary Care is changing the way men's healthcare is done.
We are the Rangers. Thank you for watching Real Sports Live.
Our professional advisors at Employee Retirement Services have been providing financial and retirement planning for many years for employees of different employment.
If you've spent your career in education and are ready for the next chapter, let the professionals at Employment Retirement Services help. You've worked hard, and now it's time to relax and enjoy with peace of mind and security.
Help fulfill your retirement needs. Come experience the difference with us.
And let's plan your retirement together. Call us at 956-440-8774 to schedule your appointment today.
Before you have time to worry, we'll get you taken care of fast and easy. Now you can get back to your day with a healthy smile.
South Padre Island Golf Club. Come for a visit. Stay for a lifetime.
Hi, we're Mission Veterans.
Back here at the home of the Trojans in San Perlita, Texas. Joe Bowling with you, Rudy Zamaripa Jr. on the camera. And game 3 of this best-of-5 series with Riviera Coffer, the visitors, having captured the first 2. Lady Trojans, an extended break that time between games, trying to set the strategy up here in game 3. Seahawks set it up. Punched across by Emily Bunger, played by the Trojans. Kinney two-hands that over. Riviera Coffer with a high set in the middle. Alegria off the block, scored the point. And a steady feed of Madison Alegria tonight has produced. Gabriela Bautista now checks in the game, front row for the Lady Seahawks. Short serve across by Allison Alegria. Lady Trojans set it up on the back row. Punched off the block, point scored. Lady Trojans tied at 1 apiece. It's not that the home team, the Lady Trojans, didn't have opportunities. In game 2, they had a 6-point lead late. High set this time. Alegria off the block, this time covered by Kinney. set up Megan Kinney on the back row, two hands it over. Seahawks there to play it again, back to Alegria. Trojans play it back across. Riviera Copper sets up Lady Seahawks. Alegria again off the block, right back at you. Point scored, Trojans. Modesta Garcia on the block. Lady Trojans to serve it up again. Back to serve is Alyssa Nieto. Puts that across, played by Ramirez. Ball up at the net, punched over. Easy point for Riviera Copper. Madison Alegria again on a kill. Emily Munger back to serve. Short serve played by the Lady Trojans. Ball over by Jasmine Rodriguez. This time a miss hit. Point scored, San Perlita. Lady Trojans up 3-2. Line drive serve, that's near an ace served up, played by the Lady Seahawks. Ball back over on the Trojan side. From the middle, punched over, right back up to the net it goes. Point scored, San Perlita. Modesta Garcia back to serve. Her team up by 2, trailing 2 games to none though in this best of 5. Seahawks set it up. Big kill attempt, but Rojas is there to dig that. Ball back on the Riviera Copper side. Lady Seahawks set it up middle. Alegria switches hands and produces a point. She's shown the ability to use the left or right hand when at the net. And Madison Alegria on the kill. She'll now rotate back to serve for the Lady Seahawks. Serves it with the left hand, played by the Trojans. Pass right on the money. The set off the net. Aaliyah Garcia puts it over. Ball up at the net. Garcia again. This time pounds it away. Point scored, Lady Trojans. Aaliyah Garcia that time. That was just too good a look. Didn't waste the opportunity. Megan Kinney back to serve. That is an ace. Lady Trojans up 3. It's 6-3. Kinney back to serve again. Deep serve, that's out of bounds. Service there, gives the ball back to the Riviera Copper Lady Seahawks. And they'll serve it up. Brienne Lerma gets it across, played by the Lady Trojans, a high set. This is going to be a Rojas, puts it down. Karime Rojas on a kill. Lady Trojans up by 3. It's 7-4 here in game number 3. Jasmine Rodriguez back to serve for the Lady Trojans. Played by the Lady Seahawks off the net this time. That ball carries out of bounds. Other point for San Perlita. Lady Trojans up 8-4. Lady Seahawks take a timeout. Game 3 continues.
Thank you for watching Real Sports Live.
Fans, if you want to look your best at the next game, then let Chewy's Custom Sports go to work for you. From custom designs and graphics to mass production in-house. If it's hats, shirts, buttons, mugs, cups, banners, and more, then Chewy's is there for every team and every sport. A veteran-owned company in touch with the community. It's Chewy's Custom Sports in San Benito.
That was a quick timeout. Back at play here. San Perlita on top 8-4 here in game 3. Spike across is down and in by Lauren Tabor. And the Lady Seahawks regain the serve after that timeout. Brianna Ramirez back to serve it up. Short serve played by the Lady Trojans. Ball off the net, punched over. Seahawks back at the net. Rojas is there. And scores the point for the Lady Trojans. Modesta Garcia checks back in for San Perlita. Aaliyah Garcia back to serve. That's an ace. Aaliyah Garcia takes a 5-point lead for the Lady Trojans. They led in game 1 early. They led by as many as 6 in game 2 late. Looking up at an 0-2 deficit in the games, though, here in this best-of-5 series. That's a near block, a nothing doing. Points scored for Riviera Coffer. Rojas got in position just a little bit off the net, allowed that ball to carry off of her. Jump serve this time, that's an ace. An ace served up for the Lady Seahawks, courtesy of Lauren Tabor. She'll serve again. Shorter serve this time. Ball played right back across the net on either side. Lady Trojans set up Garcia with an approach. Block back at you. Point Riviera Coffer. Defensively, Lady Seahawks able to score that one. 2-point lead for the Lady Trojans. Another jump serve. Knuckleballs over. That's an ace. 1-point game at 10-9. And Tabor doing a nice job at the service line. This rotation through for the Lady Seahawks, ready to serve. Trying to tie this game up. Jump serve, deep serve, another ace. Tie game at 10 apiece. Lady Trojans will substitute into the game as Jasmine Rodriguez returns to the back row. Trying to solve this serving at Tabor. She'll put that one in the net. Lady Trojans go back up 1. (11-10) your score. Serve is over, played by the Seahawks. Nice job of keeping that ball in play. Kinney with a pass, a high set, second hit over, and points scored for the Lady Trojans. Catching the Seahawks off guard. Lady Trojans back up 2 at 12-10 here in game 3. Karime Rojas to serve. Ball played by the Seahawks off the net this time. Two-handed over. Kinney plays that. That was right on the line. Kinney one-hands it down the line, scores a point. 13-10 your score. Karime Rojas to serve it. That's an ace served up for San Perlita. Karime Rojas whistles an ace across. 4-point lead, Lady Trojans. Rojas to serve again. Another good serve. This time return with a nice set. Block back at you. Point scored San Perlita. Defensively, Modesta Garcia right there. Rojas continues to serve. Her team up 5. Deep serve. Good return this time for the Lady Seahawks, but a lift call. Point scored San Perlita, now up 6. 16-10 as Karime Rojas is ready to serve again. Good return this time. A high set this time for Emily Bunger. Blocked back by Modesta. 4 hits called. They'll call that in the net. Modesta was there to challenge that. Either way, I think that was going to be a block or that 4-hit call. Rojas to serve again. Passes up near the net, and a point scored. San Perlita now up 8 at 18-10. Another timeout called. Seahawks rolled through game 1. It was a close game 2. San Perlita up by 8 here in game 3.
Lady Diamondbacks, thank you for watching Real Sports Live.
At First Community Bank, we believe in small business.
When Jennifer and Jimmy Wilson started Wild August Nursery and Flower Farm, they found Ricky Leal at First Community Bank had the financing to help them grow.
Make FCB your bank.
Game 3 continues here in San Perlita, Texas, as the Lady Trojans up by 8 at 18-10, trying to extend this into game 4 of a best-of-5 series. Karime Rojas serves it up on the return of serve. It's a good pass. This sets up for the big kill, and down it goes. Madison Alegria back to the front row, secures that point. 18-11. This is when they've done a lot of damage. The Seahawks, when Madison Alegria is rotating through that front row. Allison Alegria to serve it up. Gets it across. That's an ace. Ace served up. Presidio Maldonado tried to return that serve. Ace for Alegria. Allison will serve again. Shorter serve this time, played by the Lady Trojans. Megan Kinney off the net, punches it for the back row. That carries too far. 5-point lead. Alegria to serve again for the Lady Seahawks. Played by the Lady Trojans of San Perlita. Modesta Garcia just gets it over. Alegria there to play that. Off the net, two hands it over. Kinney there to play it. Ball back on the Seahawks side. A better chance here for a set for Alegria. Blocked by Garcia. Ball back alive. Set it up again. Pass the block this time. A good pass by Maldonado. Rojas puts it to the back row. Played by Ramirez. Set it up, and that carries out of bounds. Point scored the Trojans. That's a long rally point that time scored for San Perlita. Set up in the middle. Alegria, nice dig that time by Maldonado, but the pass carries in the net. Kill for Riviera. Five-point lead, San Perlita. Serve coming up for Bunger. Short serve. The pass carries in the net. A challenge there. In the net called on San Perlita. Riviera Coffer scores, edges closer. Now a 4-point game. Bunger to serve again. Gets it across. That's an ace. 3-point game. Lady Trojans will talk it over. Trying to stay in here in game 3. Lady Seahawks coming back.
Fans, if you want to look your best at the next game, then let Chewy's Custom Sports go to work for you. From custom designs and graphics to mass production in-house. If it's hats, shirts, buttons, mugs, cups, banners, and more, then Chewy's is there for every team and every sport. A veteran-owned company in touch with the community. It's Chewy's Custom Sports in San Benito.
That's a 6-1 run right now by Riviera Coffer. Lady Seahawks serving up as Emily Bunger puts it back in play. Kinney gets it back over. Played by the Seahawks up near the net. Alegria punches it over, scores a point. Awkward moment. It didn't look like anyone was going to take control, and then Alegria heads up play to put that one over and trim the San Perlita lead down to 2. Bunger to serve again. Short serve, Kinney. First hit over. Here come the Seahawks on the attack. Alegria just over. Kenny one-hands that over. Diving play keeps it alive on the Seahawks side. Then the ball carries out of bounds. Points scored, San Perlita. Lady Trojans the first team to 20 here in game 3. That was the case in game 2. And that serve goes in the net. An opening for the Lady Seahawks. Madison Alegria will rotate back to the service line. And she'll now serve it up for Riviera Coffer. Left-hand serve across, played by the Trojans. Looking for Garcia. Aaliyah Garcia gets the point. Aaliyah Garcia takes it to a 3-point lead for the Lady Trojans of San Perlita. Megan Kinney, one of the stronger servers on this team. Ready to serve again, takes her time. Just across, played by Alegria. And just off the net, point scored, Riviera Coffer. Back to a 2-point game. Checking back in is Brianne Lerma. Lerma for the Seahawks. Deep knuckleball serve, Kenny on the return. Ball back and forth across the net. Alegria back there to play it on the back row. That set across might have been heading out. Karime Rojas keeps it alive. Ball back up in the middle of the net. Still alive on the rally. 4 hits called on Riviera Coffer. Points scored, San Perlita. Lady Trojans up by 3. Jasmine Rodriguez puts it across. Back row there to play that. Free ball coming up for San Perlita. A high pass by Nieto. Ball back over. Rojas 2 hands that over. Played by the Lady Seahawks with a left hand. Down and in. Points scored, Lauren Tabor. 22-20. Ramirez back to serve. Short serve. Back row there to play that. Ball up at the net. Spiked down by Rojas. Good dig that time by the Seahawks. Right back at you. Blocked by the Trojans this time. Ball back on the San Perlita side. Set it up right side. That's Garcia. Good dig that time by Ramirez. Point scored, Lady Trojans. San Perlita up by 3 at 23-20. Aaliyah Garcia ready to serve. Before that, Modesta Garcia will check into the game. Short serve off the net. Point scored, Lady Trojans. 24-20 as Aaliyah Garcia now serves to capture game 3. Game 3. Just across on the pass up near the net, played by the Seahawks. That carries out of bounds. San Perlita takes game 3. 25-20, home team coming back. Game 4 coming up after this.
Welcome to Hacienda Ford's Trucktoberfest.
Trucktoberfest is the biggest sale of the year on new trucks and SUVs at Hacienda Ford. Now, no matter what options you want, it's at Hacienda Ford. Right now, get a 2019 Ford Expedition for 0% interest for 72 months plus $2,000 bonus cash.
Trucktoberfest means Hacienda has it.
Before you have time to worry, we'll get you taken care of fast and easy. Now you can get back to your day with a healthy smile.
Hi, we're PJ Southwest Alameda. Thank you for watching Real Sports Live.
Truck Techs in Harlingen is your source for lifts, wheels, and tires. Talking trucks of any size, any model, and any year. Specializing in accessories with top-of-the-line products to bring that special look to your truck in a professional way. Lifts, wheels, and tires, with financing available too. Call today or stop by Truck Techs in Harlingen.
new year off right. Alpha Men's Primary Care wants to remind all men it's time for your annual physical. Call to schedule an appointment. It's about the body, mind, and emotion. Stop feeling sluggish, having no energy, or being stressed. Alpha Men's Healthcare believes in a holistic approach to your overall health. Even if you have low testosterone, diabetes, high blood pressure, or gained weight, let Alpha Men's Primary Care help you increase your energy, stamina, endurance, and quality of life. Start feeling young again. Alpha Men's Primary Care is changing the way men's healthcare is done.
Game 4 here is underway as the Riviera Copper, Seahawks score a point, go up 1-0. If you're just joining us, we're in San Perlita, Texas. Riviera Copper has the second round of district play, trying to get back in the mix and hand San Perlita their first district loss of the season and open some things up here at the top of the district, where San Perlita, after running the table, has a tight grip on that first place spot. 2-0 out of the gate for the Seahawks. They won games 1 and 2. Lady Trojans winning game 3 by 5 as we interplay here in game 4. This one to 25. Karime Rojas back to serve. Good high pass that time by Ramirez. Ball stays off the net. Trojans back, setting up Kinney, two-handed over. Better pass this time. Here's Alegria. She's been busy. Spikes that across, played by, that time was Aaliyah Garcia, keeping that alive for the Lady Trojans. Set her up again. Better approach. Miss hit that time, played by the Trojans. Ball stays alive on the rally. Ball back on the Riviera Copper side. Alegria again. Kinney there to dig that. Racing back to help out is Rodriguez. Ball back over by Garcia. Another chance for Alegria this time. A good dig that time by Jasmine Rodriguez. Back row staying active for San Perlita. Seahawks steadily feeding. Block back at you. Points scored. Trojans tie it up at 2 apiece. That time the back row kept it in play, and then the front row able to offset that big swing by Madison Alegria. Trojans now looking to take the lead. Set up Kinney. Spikes it across and down. Points scored, San Perlita. Lady Trojans up 3-2. Karime Rojas to serve again. Just across the net, played back on the Trojan side. Garcia from the back row. And in the net it goes. Tied up at 3 apiece. Substitution into the game for Riviera Copper. Mary Godfrey back on the front row. Meanwhile, serving is Allison Alegria. Played by the Lady Trojans. Kinney two-hands it over. Seahawks set it up in the middle. Block back at you. Ball stays alive. And a great play that time by Brianna Ramirez. Lady Seahawks go back up by 1 at 4-3. Back to serve. Allison Alegria will serve again. Alegria with a short serve, played by the Trojans. That's an ace. Seahawks go up by 2 at 5-3 here in game 4. They took the first 2. They're still in control of this series right now. Up by a couple. Alegria serves it again. Line drive. That's another ace. Back-to-back aces served up by Allison Alegria. Riviera Copper and the Lady Seahawks up by 3. Another line drive. Knuckleball serve. This time covered. Setting up Modesta Garcia. Got it down the line. Scored the point. Modesta Garcia reaching back for a little extra that time for the Lady Trojans. Back to serve is Alyssa Nieto. Gets it over. Played by the Seahawks, a high set. Alegria punches it over. Kinney there to play that. Setting up Jasmine Rodriguez. Back row plays that. Now a lift is called on Riviera Copper. And San Perlita back to within one here at 6-5. Elisa Nieto to serve. Just gets it over, played by Riviera Coffer. A good pass, high set Alegria. Past the blocker, scored the point. Wasn't her biggest hit of the night by any stretch, as Madison Alegria certainly has put together a highlight reel on her own here tonight, especially in game 2. 2-point lead for the Lady Seahawks. Serve across, played by the Trojans. Back on the Riviera Copper side, set up Alegria. This time reaches back, crosses the angle, scores the point. 3-point lead for Riviera Copper. This is usually the toughest game in a series, game 4. The team that dropped the 2 games has their backs against the wall. Kinney with a pass, set by Nieto. Kinney off the blocker this time. Alegria with her back to the net, gets at it across on the San Perlita side. Here's Kinney again. Back row there to play that for the Seahawks. Ball at the net, punched over the blockers. Trojans there to cover that. Set up this time Rodriguez. Back there to play it is Bunger. Set it up, here's Alegria. Block back at you, point San Perlita. Modesta Garcia, another block. 8-6 game as Modesta rotates back to serve for the San Perlita Lady Trojans. Gets that one over, that's an ace. 8-7 game, Lady Trojans now serving to tie it up. Modesta Garcia in the net. Riviera Copper hangs on to the lead. Lady Seahawks up 2. Madison Alegria rotates back to serve. Gets it over, played by the Trojans of San Perlita. High set for Megan Kinney on that right side. Gets it over, dug that time by Ramirez. A set up Lauren Tibor. Puts that back over on the Trojan side. Ball up at the net, punched over. Riviera Copper set it up again on a left side set. Nothing doing, in the net it goes. Point scored, San Perlita. Megan Kinney back to serve. Kinney gets it across the net. That's an ace. We're tied at 9 apiece. Megan Kinney on the serve. Kinney to serve again. Better pass this time. Ball up at the net, though, punched over. Seahawks trying to attack from the back row. Nothing doing. Lady Trojans take the lead. 10-9 game. All back over on the Riviera Copper side. That's 2 hits. Points scored for San Perlita. They're up 2 at 11-9. Timeout called Riviera Copper. They don't want game 5 to get here. Trojans trying to extend it. Got to get game 4 first.
Brought to you by New York Life. Best of luck to your team.
And I'm Danielle Goslin, and I'm a partner with New York Life Insurance Company. For over 170 years, New York Life has built a reputation of developing the most successful professionals in the industry.
We help to manage the process from day one and guide you on your way to success. If you're looking to challenge yourself and build an insurance and financial service business,
then we would like to show you how we can help.
Back here at San Perlita as the Lady Trojans trying to fight back here on their home court against Riviera Copper. After a timeout, Megan Kinney serves up an ace. Right back to work, Megan Kinney. Lady Trojans now up 3. Kinney will serve again. Right-handed server for the Lady Trojans of San Perlita. Just gets it over. That's another ace. Kinney's now served up 3 in a row. Unreturnable by the Lady Seahawks. Kinney stays at the line to serve again. Deeper serve this time, and that's out of bounds. Good heads-up play by Brianna Ramirez to let that ball carry off that back row. Lady Seahawks to serve. Back to serve is Brianna Lerma. Puts that over. Trojans on the return of serve. Set up Karime Rojas and thunders it down for the point. Karime Rojas suddenly, as she rotates to the front row, able to get that kill down. Jasmine Rodriguez will serve now for San Perlita's Lady Trojans. First, a substitution as Megan Kinney will have a seat on the bench. Maya Duarte checks into the game for the Trojans. Rodriguez's serve is over. Played by Alegria. They'll set up Tabor, puts it over. Trojans, second hit. Right there's Alegria. A set by Lerma. Tabor has it blocked, but in the net called San Perlita. Riviera Copper scores the point. Lady Seahawks cut the lead to 3. 14-11. Substitutions will check in the game for Riviera Copper. Meanwhile, back to serve is Brianna Ramirez. Challenge at the net. Ball still alive. Played by Rivera. Ball back on the San Perlita side. Now on the Seahawks side. Trying to set it up. Tabor. Left hands it over. Looking for the line. Out of bounds. Point scored San Perlita. Lady Trojans up by 4 here in game 4. Odesta Garcia returns to the game. Replacing Perla Moreno. Meanwhile, back to serve is Aaliyah Garcia. In the net on a service error. Point scored, Riviera Coffer. Trojans on the rally. High set this time. Alegria reaches back, puts it down. Madison Alegria, another kill. That's another point scored for Riviera Copper. 1 point game. Back to serve is Lauren Tabor. With a jump serve, deep serve, played by the Trojans on a better pass. Set up, Modesta Garcia reaches back. Right back there's Tabor. Off the net this time, Alegria punches it over on the Trojan side. Second hit over. Right there's Ramirez to keep it alive. Alegria now with the kill attempt, puts it down, ties the game. All tied at 15. Next serve on a jump serve is a cross and an ace. Riviera Copper takes the lead at 16-15 on a Lauren Tabor ace. Substitution back in the game for San Perlita. This time, Julissa Del Luna checks in. She'll try to solve the serving as Lauren Tabor serves up another ace. 2-point lead. Lady Seahawks. Megan Kinney will return to the game now for San Perlita. She'll take a spot on the back row. Meanwhile, Tabor ready to serve again. Jump serve, deep serve. Kinney right there to pass that. Garcia helps out on the angle. Alegria, they'll try to set her. A lift called. Points scored, Lady Trojans. That was a nice return of serve by Megan Kinney just to put that ball into play. Rojas now serves it up. Played by the Lady Seahawks. Set up Alegria, hits it in the net. Tie game at 17 here in game 4. Karime Rojas to serve again. Right-handed server trying to give her team the lead here in this pivotal game 4. Gets it across, played by the Seahawks. Alegria punches it over. That time that was Allison Alegria on the attack. Trojans back on the Seahawks side. This time set up Madison Alegria. And on the angle, got the point. 18-17 on yet another kill for Madison Alegria, and she's been busy tonight. Allison Alegria back to serve now for the Lady Seahawks. Good pass by Garcia. Second hit by Kinney, and nice diving play keeps it alive for a moment. Can't get it over. We're tied. Hustle by Emily Bunger. Couldn't get there in position to get that across. Alyssa Nieto will now serve. Lady Trojans trying to regain the lead. Short serve played by the Lady Seahawks. High set in the middle. They'll call that a lift. Points scored. Lady Trojans up 1 at 19-18. Alyssa Nieto to serve. Deeper serve. Returned by Ramirez. Still on the back row. Free ball coming up for the Trojans to work with. Rojas the pass. The set in the middle and punched over by Modesta Garcia. Right back on the Trojan side. Kinney finds a spot, scores a point. Megan Kinney found a wide open spot on the defense. 20-18 your score. Nieto to serve again for San Perlita. Gets it across, ball up at the net. Played by the Trojans. Kinney two-hands it over. Bunger there. Ball back over. Back on the Seahawks side. They can't return it. Trojans score and go up 3. 21-18, timeout call by the Seahawks. Game 4 continues from San Perlita after this. Care and emergency response services. TVNS are pioneers in the home care industry. In service for over 37 years. 11 locations from Brownsville to Corpus Christi, from Harlingen to Laredo.
Today's game is sponsored by TVNS, the pioneers in serving our community with the highest quality in provider services.
When in Port Mansfield, be sure to stop in Laguna Madre Baits, the home of Laguna Girl 1 and 2. They ensure that you have the best when it comes to your fishing needs. Locally caught bait, including live shrimp and croaker. Frozen baits caught locally, frozen shrimp, squid, mullet, and more. Dress the part with full outdoor apparel. Drinks, ice, snacks, groceries, and fishing supplies for any need. Access by road or by boat. Look for the blue building and the blue shrimp boats. Laguna Madre Baits. 828 Westport Drive, Port Mansfield, Texas. So each team scores a point out of the timeout. San Perlita will take that as they're willing to exchange points up 4 late stages of game 4. Trying to extend this into game 5 of this best-of-5 series. Perla Moreno ready to serve again. Serves it up. That is a near, and it is an ace. Points scored, San Perlita. They go up 4. Perla Moreno to serve again. Deeper serve, back corner. That is in for an ace. Trojans are now 1 away from forcing game 5. Perla Moreno will serve again. That carries out of bounds. 24-20. Madison Alegria rotates back to serve for the Lady Seahawks. Kinney there on the return to serve. That's off a light fixture. That's still in play. Ball back over on the Seahawks side. Looking for the point here. Played by the Lady Trojans. Set it up. Played by Garcia. Nice dig by Alegria. Second hit over. Block back at you. Ball still alive on the rally. Trojans, second hit over. Alegria there to cover that. Set it up, this time that's Tabor. Ball back over on the Trojan side. Garcia, that's a narrow angle right there at the net. Tabor a better look this time, that carries out of bounds, and San Perlita captures game 4. 25-20, there will be a game 5. After taking the first 2, the Seahawks and the Trojans staring at game 5 after this.
Advisors at Employee Retirement Service have been providing financial and retirement planning for many years for employees of different employment.
If you've spent your career in education and are ready for the next chapter, let the professionals at Employment Retirement Services help. You've worked hard, and now it's time to relax and enjoy with peace of mind and security.
Help fulfill your retirement needs. Come experience the difference with us.
And let's plan your retirement together.
Call us at 956-440-8774 to schedule your appointment today.
Hi fans, today's game is brought to you by New York Life. Best of luck to your team.
And I'm Danielle Goslin, and I'm a partner with New York Life Insurance Company. For over 170 years, New York Life has built a reputation of developing the most successful professionals in the industry.
We help to manage the process from day one and guide you on your way to success. If you're looking to challenge yourself and build an insurance and financial service business,
then we would like to show you how we can help.
Back here at San Perlita, Texas, as we get set for game 5 of this best-of-5 series. And a back-and-forth affair. Riviera Coffer out of the gate took game 1 rather easily, 25-15. Game 2 was tightly contested with the visitors winning that one 27-25. Back-to-back 25-20 wins for San Perlita. And the home team forces a game 5 here, and trying to maintain their grip on sole possession of first place in this district and sustaining the unbeaten mark as we've entered the second round of district play. Riviera Coffer would like to get a win here and then be looking to see if they can get some help from San Isidro on Friday when San Perlita travels there. Lady Tiger fans will be there in force for that game. That serves carries out of bounds, and away we go in the best of 5, game 5. This will be a race to 15, win by 2. Karime Rojas back to serve. Just over the net, that's an ace. The rolls now going in the favor of the home team as the Lady Trojans get an ace from Karime Rojas. She'll serve again. This time a nice dig by Allison Alegria. Punched over by the Seahawks. Trojans there. From the back row, Garcia backpedaling and scores the point for the Lady Trojans. They go up 3. Karime Rojas backpedaling. Got enough on that to carry it off the back row. Trojans to serve again. Rojas ready to go. Good return this time by the Seahawks. Set up Alegria and angles it over. Point scored, Riviera Coffer. Madison Alegria, another kill. Allison Alegria back to serve. Deep serve played by the Lady Trojans off that back row. Rojas with a pass. Nieto puts it over. Off the net, Alegria puts it over on the San Perlita side. This time they'll set it in the middle. Garcia, Aaliyah Garcia. Out of bounds it goes. Riviera Coffer scores. Lady Seahawks cut it to 3-2. Allison Alegria to serve again. Now serving to tie it up. For the Lady Seahawks, gets it a deep serve back corner. Played that time by the Trojans. Set up Kinney. Blocked back at you by Alegria. Ball back on the Seahawks side. This time they'll set it up. Alegria puts it away. Ties the game at 3. A block and then a kill for Madison Alegria on the same rally. All tied at 3 in game 5. Allison Alegria stays at the line to serve. Deeper serve this time. Carries in. Ace. 4-3 game. Timeout send Perlita. Lady Seahawks up in game 5.
Every day.
We'll blaze a trail for future generations.
It's not just about equipping students with skills for the future. We awaken their potential and empower them to make good choices.
No matter where you're from or where you're headed, there's a place for you to flourish at HCISD.
Thank you for watching Real Sports Live.
After a timeout, game 5 continues. Another serve by Riviera Copper's Lady Seahawks. Megan Kinney punches it on an angle. Nice dig that time by the Lady Seahawks. That's Mary Godfrey keeping that ball in play. That ball carries out of bounds, though, and we are tied at 4 apiece. All tied at 4 apiece. Confusion that time. They thought that ball might have been out. Lady Trojans to serve it up. Short serve played by the Lady Seahawks. Set up Alegria, reaches back. Nice dig that time on the back row. Ball carries out of bounds though. Points scored, Riviera Coffer. Lady Seahawks up at 5-4. Short serve this time. Kinney punches that in the air. Trojans set up Rodriguez. Out of bounds. Too far off the back row. Seahawks up by 2 at 6-4. Good pass this time by the Trojans. Set up Rodriguez again. 2 hands that over. Alegria. Nice dig that time by the Lady Trojans. Ball still alive. Rally back on the Seahawks side. 2-handed over. Right there again, the Trojans able to play it. Alegria on the second hit. Gets that over. Point scored. A lift called on San Perlita. 7-4 game now. Lady Seahawks, a deep serve. Rojas there with the pass. Second hit in the net it goes. Point scored. Riviera Coffer now up 4. Halfway through on the scoreboard side for the visiting Seahawks. Here in game 5, which goes to 15. Short serve, Rojas with a pass. Second hit sets up Garcia, Modesta Garcia. Second hit over, right back on the side again. Alegria with a pass, set her right back up, puts it down. A quick set that time for Madison Alegria. 9-4 game. Lady Seahawks back to serve, Emily Bunger. Bunger to serve it up. Played by the Trojans, a pass by Kinney, set up Modesta Garcia. Got it past the blocker, scores a point, San Perlita. 9-5 game. Garcia will check out as Perla Moreno checks back in the game to serve for San Perlita. Lady Trojans down by 4. Deep serve, out of bounds. Lady Seahawks perfectly content to trade points right now, up 5. Back to serve as Madison Alegria. Deep serve, good pass that time by the Trojans. Free ball coming up though for the Seahawks. Pass off the net, set it on the right side, and a point scored for the Lady Seahawks. Tabor on the kill. Madison Alegria back to serve again. Passes up high. Kinney there on the second hit. Puts that over. Right there's Ramirez to cover that. Ball back on the Trojan side. High set. Kinney reaches back. Puts that off the block. Check that. That's Aaliyah Garcia now on the front row. Ball back on the Trojan side. Punch it over. Seahawks go on the attack in the middle. Block back at you. And a point scored for San Perlita. Makes it 11-6 game. Megan Kinney back to serve. Down by 5, Lady Trojans. Megan Kinney serves it, a short serve. High pass by Ramirez. Second hit from Alegria. Put over by Tabor. Trojans with the second hit. It's back over on the Seahawks side. Better set opportunity. Tabor off a partial block. Kinney there to cover that. This is Rojas, puts it down. Point scored, San Perlita. 11-7 your score. Alyssa De Luna back to serve for San Perlita. Check that, Megan Kinney stays at the line to serve. Kinney ready to go. Just gets it over, played by the Seahawks. Off the block, they'll call a lift. Point scored, Riviera Coffer. Lady Seahawks up, staying with that 5-point lead. Now at 12-7. Brianne Lerma back to serve. Deeper serve. Stays on the back row on the second hit for the Trojans. Ball back over on the Coffer side. High set in the middle. Punched over. Played by the Trojans. Ball back on the Seahawks side. Played off the block. Challenge at the net. Point scored, San Perlita. Active play at the net that time, Aaliyah Garcia. 4-point game. Again, if you're Riviera Coffer, you can trade points right now. You're up 5. You're 3 away from winning this. Jasmine Rodriguez to serve for San Perlita. Some point in time, Lady Trojans are going to have to go on a roll. That'll help. That's an ace. 12-9. Again, you can withstand that if you're a Lady Seahawk. You're that close to the finish line. Rodriguez to serve again. Short serve. Better pass this time. Seahawks set it in the middle. Tipped over. Trojans there. Second hit right back over at you again. Set it up in the net. Blocked back by the Trojans, but it goes out of bounds. Point scored. Riviera Coffer up by 4 at 13-9. 2 away from taking this road victory. Ramirez, a short serve. Trojans on the return of serve, set it up at the net. Challenge there, punched up in the air. On a back row attempt, in the net it goes. Point scored, San Perlita. 3-point game right here if the Lady Trojans have to draw a line. You give up that 14th point, you're in desperate trouble. Aaliyah Garcia serving down 3 at 13-10. Short serve, pass across, spiked across, played again by the Seahawks, and in the net it goes. Point scored, Lady Trojans. 2-point game. Again, you're Aaliyah Garcia. You have to get these next 2 serves in and score points. This will be a race to 14, and the momentum will truly carry to that side. Seahawks, a better pass this time from Alegria. Set it up. Spike across. Right there is Garcia to play it for the Trojans. Rodriguez tips it over. Alegria with a pass. The set by Lerma. That ball carries out of bounds. Point scored, San Perlita. 1-point game at 13-12. Timeout called. Seahawks. They lead by 1 in game 5.
Taken care of faster. Now you can get back to your day with a healthy smile.
Hi, we're Robert Miller's favorite cats, and thank you for watching Real Sports.
Back to the chance of Lady Trojans on the home side. San Perlita will serve it again. Aaliyah Garcia to serve. Again, that's an important point here. Seahawks return it over. Trojans go on the attack. Second hit over, played by the Seahawks. Ball up near the net, 2-handed over. Punched in the air by the Trojans, right back on the Seahawks side. Challenge at the net, won by San Perlita. We're tied at 13. Tie game. And now you can breathe a little easier on the San Perlita side. Aaliyah Garcia. Seahawks would like to regain the lead. Deep serve carries out of bounds. Just like that, the Seahawks are serving for the win. And at the line is Lauren Tabor. They've had some production with her at the line as Madison Alegria rotates to the front row. That serve carries out of bounds. Tie game at 14. Again, Madison Alegria at the line now on the net for the Lady Seahawks. That's an advantage at the net right there for the visitors. Modesta Garcia serves it across. Good dig that time by Tabor. Set it up. Two players converge there. Miscommunication. Ball back on the Seahawks side. They'll set it up this time. Alegria. Block back at you. Point San Perlita. Lady Trojans off the block. That was a huge swing by Madison Alegria. Reaching for the extra. Karime Rojas now serves for the win for San Perlita. Good pass this time. Set up Alegria again off the net. Thunders it down. Point scored. We're tied at 15. Back to serve is Allison Alegria. Alegria serving for the Seahawks. Played by the Trojans. Ball over on the Seahawks side. Alegria again. Two players there to cover that for the Trojans. Ball back on the Seahawks side. Alegria the pass. Setter again, middle, off the block. Point scored. Riviera takes the lead. She saw the blockers coming that time. Madison Alegria used the angle. Timeout called. San Perlita. Game 5 continues.
Everyone's a winner at Kano Auto Sales 2 in Harlingen. Choose from a wide selection and score big today on West Expressway 83.
How about this 2015 Chevy Silverado 1500, a regular cab, custom wheels, bedliner, 21,000 miles, power everything, $25,900. Or how about this 2015 BMW 328i, fully loaded with an X-Drive, navigation, sunroof, leather interior, $18,999.
Financing is available with lending for all types. Every deal's a winner at Kano Auto Sales 2, in business since 2002, Harlingen, Texas.
Serve across, Lady Trojans. Down by one, spike across by Megan Kinney. Set up Alegria for the win with a right hand, dug by Rojas. Trojans trying to stave off this game point. In the net it goes, point scored. Riviera Copper with the upset on the road. Game 5, 17-15 victors. Tightly contested match here as we welcome you to our post-game show at San Perlita. Lady Seahawks took the first two games. San Perlita Lady Trojans came back, took the second two, and it took extra points to get us into the final and the win for Riviera Coffer on the road. Seahawks with victories now on the road at San Isidro, and now first team to hand the Lady Trojans a loss in district play with a road victory here. That sets up an even bigger matchup now in San Isidro on Friday night. San Perlita travels to take on the Tigers as this district is getting interesting as we weave through the second string. It's going to do it for our broadcast. I got to save my voice. It's about 60% to start this thing. I got a lot of talking to do before this week comes to an end. My Hacienda Ford Player of the Game, She Has It Award, will go to Madison Alegria on the front row for the Lady Seahawks of Riviera Coffer. It was her play, and then the eventual play at the net to win this game in Game 5. 17-15. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. For Rudy Zambaripa Jr. on the camera. Until next time, which is Thursday night, I'm Joe Bowling for Rio Sports Live. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Watch the highlights, which will be up a little bit later on. Watch the replays when available. So long.